All right, guys. Fit for Purpose discussions. I'm wanting to talk about something that I actually posted up onto my Instagram recently, and I just thought that this is important. It's a big part of what Fit for Purpose training is. It's a big part of why it exists, and it's a part of um, it's part of the reason why I wanted to be out there in the online programming space, uh, because it's something that I think kind of is just so, I don't want to say destructive, but it gets into the minds of people that it really shouldn't be their focus. And who am I to tell anybody what their focus should be? But I like to think at this point that I've got quite a bit of experience behind me to understand where people are coming from, the goals that they have, and understand what is required to achieve each of those goals. And this one, it's for the everyday person, which is the person I'm trying to reach with Fit for Purpose training. It's for um, it's for the person that has very little time but loves training or knows that they want to be training and they want to have fitness as a part of their lives, but they have very little time to fit stuff in. And and this seems to be a big thing in the fitness space at the moment, especially in functional training in general, CrossFit, and hybrid training and high rocks training, and all of these trends that seem to be in place at the moment. And the thing that I'm trying to get at is that people and Instagram, and especially media sources of you know countless sources, put this image or message out that and it's maybe not on purpose, but it's underlying in that you should be training for multiple hours a day, and it just isn't true. It just isn't true. And the goals that a lot of people are aspiring to achieve can be done with less than an hour session or less than an hour's work in the gym. And it can be even less than that, right up to a sub 30-minute workout. We've done them before. We've felt the intensity of them. We understand that you do not need a massive amount of time to get a lot of fitness in. And I'm just going to go through a couple of points here that I put in my post for those of you that maybe don't endlessly scroll on Instagram. The first slide essentially says, all I did today is strength work, and that is enough. The next slide then says, do one thing with effort and intensity. And there's a little caption that says, that strength work that I did, it was all I did, and that's generally my approach. Not that the strength work is the thing, it's that I did one thing. And that one thing, as long as it's done with high intensity and effort, we get the most out of it on that day. We then just get on with our day, and that is enough. For me personally, I'll maybe throw in the odd skill piece or a bodybuilding piece, or a metcon, a workout of the day. But typically, it's just one thing, and if I have some extra time, I'll add something else in. And for the everyday person, more than likely you guys watching this, the person without the luxury of 3 hours or more to train at a time, you do not need that amount of time. You can get very, very, very fit, like ridiculously fit, like kind of extraordinarily fit, with just like a 30-minute session. like 4 or 5 times a week. It is insane what that can do for you, as long as it's done with that effort and intensity that we talked about before. And by effort and intensity, I just mean, try, sweat, push hard, have it in your head, I've only got half an hour here, I want to make it worth it. And you go and do the thing. And this approach of having 3 workouts a day, you'll do your strength piece, your skill piece, your metcon, you'll maybe do another accessory piece or whatever, and before you know it, 2-3 hours have passed. I've done that before. I had aspirations of being a very high level CrossFit competitor, and you could argue that I maybe am in that realm, but there's this comparison thing that we all have, that we never feel like we are what we really are. And for me, my tracking, how I track the data was, I used the CrossFit Open, and I went from 94th percentile in the world, which is the top 6%, to the 97th percentile in the world a year later. I think it was 2021 to 2022. And a 3 percentile difference in a year, from the top 6 to the top 3%. I mean, yeah, the 3 workout a day thing, you could argue that it worked, but really, what was the payoff there? That was a year of 2 to 3 hour sessions, and what I have to show for it, a position on a leaderboard. I didn't get to the games. I didn't get to regionals or semi-finals or whatever they were that year. I simply got my name higher up our leaderboard, and it was on average an extra 2 hours of training per day. What could I have done with that time? I could have started Fit for Purpose training earlier. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy when you think about the time that you could be saving, and the fitness that you could be maintaining over that period of time. So what I chose to do then, I was just like, you know what? I have stuff to do in my life. So what I did was, I thought, right, I'm just going to be more consistent with one workout, maybe a second skill or lifting piece, like I mentioned, if I have time. But and I did that for the next year or two, and honestly, not much changed at all. I think my percentile went from 97th to 96th. So I went from the top 3% to the top 4%. And I reduced my output by nearly half, I would say. And at this point, I'm actually lifting heavier, more consistently. I haven't been injured for a long time. You get little things every now and again, like maybe a sore wrist, or little just like tweaks here and there, but nothing crazy. I haven't been out of training for a long time. And what I'm going on to say is that, like, if you love training and you want to train more, the beauty of this part of the world that we live in is that you have free will, in that you can train as much as you like. So by all means, do the Fit for Purpose workout of the day, do the optional extras if you have the time. Just make sure you're recovered, you're getting recovered, you're fueling, you're doing all the things to actually get the most out of those things. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. Personally, I just don't like training for that long. It's just, I've got other stuff to be doing. I want to spend time with my family. I want to see my friends. I want to do fun stuff outside of training. And like, I just don't feel like training for that long is going to enhance my life that much more. So the bottom line, you don't have to train that much if you're wanting to improve in CrossFit or functional fitness, or push towards the goals that you're pushing towards. One thing you do need is effort in the workouts that you complete. You also need to prioritize the sessions that you do, so that you can get the most out of those and progress towards the goals that you're wanting to achieve. And that really, in my head, is the bottom line. That's where it comes down to. For some of us, there's a battle of, oh, but I want to be this incredible athlete and do all this and that and the other. But you work 9 to 5, you have all these other commitments, you have family commitments, you have all these other things. If you want to be a high level athlete, you need to sacrifice some of those things. It is just the way it is. Professional athletes nowadays, they have to remove parts of their lives or delay it and know that in the future they can get to stuff. But for now, their sole focus is the training, and you have to be okay with that. So when it comes down to it, it isn't how much you do, it's the quality and the effort you put in. And that's what this post was all about. So I hope that helped. And if you have any ideas or thoughts around that, or you have any questions, give me a shout, and I would love to chat it through. Bye.